Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Come along for the ride. Let's see what we can get done today. What I want to get done today is our sprayer. Right here, the 4730 sprayer. I need to get that winterized. I know you're probably thinking, it's 70 degrees out. What do you need to winterize it for? Well, it's also November. That's why I need to get it winterized. And winterizing it is not difficult. It's just a little time consuming. But I want to get this winterized. And then tomorrow I'm going to power wash that beast and get it cleaned up so we can get it packed away for winter. And while I'm washing that, I'm going to probably wash this. This never got rinsed off earlier this summer once we got done spraying. So I want to get it cleaned up good before we put it away for winter. But first things first, I want to get it winterized. Well, honestly, first things first is I got to move these few things out of the way so I can get that out and get it unfolded. So let's work on that. Now the process that I do, and this is just me doing, there's several different ways of doing this, and every farmer has their own way of doing things. What I do is, when we got done spraying, we ran the sprayer dry out in the field, and then I pumped water into it and rinsed it out. There's still probably a little bit of water left in the system, so I'm going to open up all the low point drains that I can find to get the water drained out of it. And then I'm going to put about 20 to 25 gallons of antifreeze in the actual tank that's behind me, turn the system on to circulate that antifreeze through, and then I'm going to put the last 10 gallons or so down through the inductor to make sure that antifreeze gets run through all the inductor and everything else, and I'm going to do it on the recycle, basically run the whole system with antifreeze in it so everything gets put in there. And then what I'm going to do is charge the booms and spray antifreeze out through the booms, through the nozzles, everything. And then once all that's done, I discharge the booms by draining those out, taking the plugs off and draining them out, and then fold the thing all up and she's done. I'm going to show you guys kind of step by step on how I do this, but the motor's going to be running out there, so you might be hard to hear me if I'm talking, but you get the gist of the idea. So let's start draining some of this water out. One of the things I forgot to do last year is this little tank here. It's just a little 2-gallon tank, or maybe it's 3 gallons, but it holds fresh water to rinse your hands off and things like that after you get done filling the sprayer. Last year, I had like this much water in the bottom of it, and I forgot to drain it, and I ended up breaking this valve and making a big mess. So while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to start draining that right now. Much gooder now that I got sunglasses on, you know, because my future's so bright. Draining water. These are the screens that filter out any impurities that are in the sprayer so the nozzles don't get plugged up. And I have to drain the water out of them as well. And now I'm going to go through and I'm going to pull these little pieces right here, these little end caps, these plugs. I'm going to pull them so it drains any water that's in these booms out. And the reason why I'm draining all the water is because I don't want I want to get as much water out as I can so the antifreeze is not diluted when it goes through the system. Some of you might wonder why I don't just pump the antifreeze into the machine itself using this actually using this inductor. Two reasons. One, it does have the capability of pumping the stuff through there, but it's just like any siphon pump. It has to have liquid in it to create a prime to suck it in there. Two, because there's no liquid in here, if I was to turn that pump on right now, it would just burn the pump up. The pump will just, it'll eat the impeller up real quick because it needs that liquid in there for lubrication and to keep it cool. So that's why I pump like 20 gallons into the big tank up top first to get liquid into the system, and then I'll turn the pumps on and start doing everything else. Just FYI. I do have the booms drained right now. I've got all my low points are drained now. So I have all the liquid out of this machine that I can possibly drain out just sitting here opening up drains. So now what I need to do is go get the RV antifreeze that we're using, get it up top there and start pumping it into the tank itself. Everything on this thing is either plastic or stainless steel, so I can't mount you guys somewhere so you can see me work. So I don't know if you could see it going in or not, but worth a try. All right, I'm gonna get rolling on this. So I've been pumping for a while. It's quite the workout pumping like this, not gonna lie. But I was like, you know, how many gallons have I pumped in there? Because there's a gauge on the side of the barrel. Let me show you something. The funny thing is, it's a black barrel that you can't see through, so how do you know where you're at on your gauge? Garbage. I think I need a little more. Sorry about that. The hose came out while I was pumping and it squirted. You guys were sitting right here. I had you guys sitting up here, and yeah, hose squirted all over the camera and everything. So now the camera, I'm sorry, you guys are all sticky from antifreeze. Now what I did is I turned the pump on so it's recirculating inside there and pumping all the antifreeze through the lines. So now I'm going to go down and we'll start sucking up some antifreeze down through the lower part of the pump. That'll get everything circulating there as well. This might get a little loud because the motor's going to get revved up when I turn this inductor on. But what it's going to do is I'm going to turn the inductor on with this right here, this switch, and then I'm going to hit this valve here and it's going to probably boil up a little bit and then suck all this down through the system. I'm going to turn this valve on. This valve's going to do like a rinse cycle on here and help recycle everything. And then in the center you're going to see a white, there'll be like a white bar sticking up. That is what they call a bottle wash. I have a clean, empty bottle right here that I'm going to stick over top of that, and you push down and it shoots water up inside the bottle to rinse the bottle out. I'm going to do that just to get antifreeze coming up through there. That way that doesn't freeze as well this winter. So it's going to get loud now. I'm going to place you guys kind of where you can see. Can you guys see okay? All right, it's going to get loud now. The only thing left to do now is to go up in the cab and turn on each individual section and let it spray out a little bit of antifreeze, then shut that section off and turn on another section, let it spray a little bit, turn it off, turn on another section, let it spray. That way it charges all of these lines and gets antifreeze through the whole system, and then we're done. Okay, now I'm in the cab. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the pump on. Each one of these is a switch for a boom section. Right now they're all off, so I'll turn on one boom section. I'm going to start with the farthest one over there. You know it's over there because I'm pointing that way. I'm going to turn that on, let it spray a little bit, shut it off, let it spray, you know, so on and so forth down the line. That way all the booms are done, and then we're good to go. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. That section right there is on. Now that end section out there is on. So there is antifreeze through the whole system now. The system is winterized. Now here is the great debate. If you go on different forums, some people say leave the booms charged with antifreeze. Other people say drain them. What I normally do is I normally drain the booms and I leave the end caps off, because of the fact that, in theory, if you did not get all the water out of those lines and it diluted the antifreeze that's in there enough to where it does freeze, then with the end caps off, that expansion of the ice has a place to go without wrecking or hurting any systems. The only reason I do this is because I've done it for the last 10 years and I've never ever had to replace anything on this machine because of the fact that it froze and broke, except for the hand washing drain, because I forgot to drain the water out of it last year. That's the only thing, and that was my own stupidity. So there you have it. That's how you winterize a 4730 John Deere high wheel sprayer. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, maybe learned something. Hit that subscribe button, like button, leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you guys. We'll talk to you later.